Hi, I'm Bobby Russell. I'm a Microsoft technical trainer. I'm here to walk you through the SC-200 Microsoft Security Operations Analyst course. We'll start with Learning Path 2. Get started with Microsoft Security Copilot. In this learning path, we'll cover things like understanding the fundamentals of generative AI. We'll talk about describing Microsoft Security Copilot. We'll describe the core features of Microsoft Security Copilot, and we'll describe the embedded experiences of Microsoft Security Copilot. Let's start with our first module, Fundamentals of Generative AI. By the end of this module, you'll be able to describe what is generative AI, what a large language model is, what is Azure OpenAI, what are copilots, and improve generative AI responses with prompt engineering. AI imitates human behavior by using machine learning to interact with the environment and execute tasks without any explicit directions on how to do it. Generative AI creates original content, such as generative AI that has been built into chat applications. Generative AI applications take in a natural language input and return appropriate responses in a variety of formats. We have natural language generation. To generate a natural language response, you might submit a request such as, give me 3 ideas for healthy breakfasts, including peppers. Image generation. Some generative AI applications can interpret a natural language request and generate an appropriate image. For example, you might submit a request like, hey, create an image of an elephant eating a burger. We have code generation. Some generative AI applications are designed to help software developers write their code. For example, you can submit a request like, show me how to code a game of tic-tac-toe with Python. One popular example of such an application is ChatGPT, a chatbot created by OpenAI, an AI research company that partners closely with Microsoft. While the mathematical principles behind using large language models, or LLMs, can be complex, a basic understanding of the architecture used to implement them can help you gain a conceptual understanding of how they work. Generative AI applications are powered by large language models, which are a specific type of machine learning model that you can use to perform natural language processing tasks, including things like determining sentiment or otherwise classifying natural language text. You can summarize text with that. You can compare multiple text sources for semantic similarity. You can even generate new natural language. Azure OpenAI Service is Microsoft's cloud solution for deploying, customizing, and hosting large language models. It brings together the best of OpenAI's cutting-edge models and APIs with the security and scalability of the Azure Cloud Platform. Azure OpenAI supports many models that can serve many different needs, such as the GPT-4 model, which are the latest generation of generative pre-trained models, or GPT models, that can generate natural language and code completions based on natural language processes and prompts. Older GPT 3.5 models can generate natural language and code completions based on natural language prompts. In particular, GPT 3.5 Turbo models are optimized for chat-based interactions and work well in most generative AI scenarios. And then we have embedding models, which convert text into numeric vectors and are useful in language and analytics scenarios, such as comparing text sources for similarities or differences. We have DALL-E models, which are used to generate images based on natural language prompts. Currently, DALL-E models are in preview. DALL-E models aren't listed in the Azure OpenAI Studio interface and don't need to be explicitly deployed. The Azure AI Studio can be used by developers, and they can work on these models in that studio. It's a web-based environment where AI professionals can deploy, test, and manage LLMs that support generative AI app development in Azure. Within Azure AI Studio, you can deploy large language models, provide few-shot examples, and test them in Azure OpenAI Studio's Chat Playground. The availability of LLMs has led to the emergence of a new category of computing known as copilots. Copilots are often integrated into other applications and provide a way for users to get help with common tasks from a generative AI model. Copilots are based on a common architecture, so developers can build custom copilots for various business-specific applications and services. You may see copilots appear within the products that you already use. For example, as a chat screen feature that opens up next to your file. These copilots use the content that is created or searched for in the product as a specific information for its result. It's helpful to think of how the creation of a large language model is related to the process of creating a copilot application. So first, a large amount of data is used to train a large language model. Next, services such as Azure OpenAI Service make pre-trained models available. Developer can use these pre-trained models as they are or fine-tune with custom data. Afterwards, deploying a model makes it available for use in the application. Now that the model has been deployed, developers can build copilots that submit prompts to models and generate context for use in applications. Business users can use copilots to boost their productivity and creativity with AI-generated content. Copilots have a potential to revolutionize the way we work by helping with first drafts, information synthesis, strategic planning, and much, much more. The quality of responses that a generative AI application returns not only depends on the model itself, but on the types of prompts it's given. Prompts are a way we tell an application what we want it to do. An engineer can add instructions for a program with prompts. Let me give you an example. Developers may build a generative AI application for teachers to create multiple choice questions related to text students read. During the development of the application, developers can add their, any other rules for what the program should do with the prompts it receives. Writing good prompts is another great thing. You can achieve better results when you submit clear and specific prompts. There's also system messages. The messages set the context for the model by describing things like expectations and constraints. Let me give you an example. An example of a system message would be, you're a helpful assistant that responds in a cheerful, friendly manner. These system messages determine constraints and styles for the model's responses. You can also provide examples. However, you can also provide what we call one-shot learning prompts to include one or a few examples of the output you require, such as visit a castle in the morning before the crowds arrive. The model can then generate further responses in the same style as the examples provided by you in the prompt. Show that chat what responses you want, and it will try to mimic any responses you add. There's also grounding data. You can use grounding data as a prompt engineering technique to gain many of the benefits of fine-tuning without having to train a custom model. To apply this technique, include contextual data in the prompt so that the model can use it to generate appropriate output. Let me give you an example. Suppose you want an LLM to generate a summary of an email. You can include the email text in the prompt with an instruction to summarize that email. So now that we've completed the first module, in this we've talked about what generative AI is, we've talked about large language models, we've discussed what is Azure OpenAI, we talked about what are copilots, and some tips and tricks that you can use to improve generative AI responses with prompt engineering. Let's dive into our second module, which will be describing Microsoft Security Copilot. By the end of this module, you'll be able to describe what Microsoft Security Copilot is. You'll be able to describe the terminology of Microsoft Security Copilot. You'll describe how Microsoft Security Copilot processes prompt requests. You'll be able to describe the elements of an effective prompt. And finally, we'll talk about how to enable Microsoft Security Copilot. Microsoft Security Copilot is a cloud-based AI-powered tool that helps security analysts respond to threats faster process signals at machine speed, and assess risk exposure more effectively than your traditional methods. It combines advanced large language models with a security-focused model developed by Microsoft. Copilot works seamlessly with both Microsoft and third-party data sources. It continuously learns at machine speed, helping analysts stay ahead of any emerging threats. And of course, enterprise data is safeguarded by robust compliance and security standards. Microsoft Security Copilot focuses on making the following highlighted use cases easy to use, such as things like incident summarization, which allows you to gain context for incidents and improve communication across your organization by leveraging generative AI to swiftly distill complex security alerts into concise, actionable summaries, which then enable quicker response times and streamlined decision-making. It has an impact on your analysis, utilizing AI-driven analytics to assess the potential impact of security incidents, offering you insights into affected systems and data to prioritize response efforts more effectively. And it provides reverse engineering of scripts. You can now eliminate the need to manually reverse engineer malware and enable every analyst to understand the actions executed by attackers. Analyze complex command line scripts and translate them into natural language with clear explanations of actions. Efficiently extract and link indicators found in the scripts to your respective entities in your environment. And it provides a guided response. It allows you to receive actionable step-by-step guidance for incident response, including directions for triage, investigation, containment, and remediation. Relevant deep links are provided with recommended actions to allow for an even quicker response. There are two ways to use Microsoft Security Copilot: the standalone experience and the embedded experience, and each offers a different kind of interaction. With the standalone experience, you access Copilot through its own dedicated site, its own portal. It's a more open-ended chat-style interface where you type natural language prompts into a prompt bar. Copilot then responds with text, images, or documents, kind of like having a security-focused AI assistant to help you directly. On the other hand, the embedded experience brings Copilot capabilities right into the Microsoft security tools that you're already using. Instead of switching to a separate site, you get Copilot's help directly within your product interface, right where you're investigating incidents or you may be managing alerts. It's a more contextual and integrated design to support your workflow in real time. The embedded experience in Microsoft Security Copilot brings AI assistance directly into the security tools you already use, like Microsoft Defender or Sentinel. This means you don't have to switch between platforms. Copilot is right there in the interface, helping you in real time. It provides context-aware insights, so whether you're investigating an alert or reviewing incidents, it can summarize data, suggest your next steps, or even generate scripts tailored to what you're working on. This saves you time and reduces the cognitive load of, jumping between tools or digging through logs. It also helps analysts make faster, more informed decisions by, surfacing relevant information exactly when it's needed. Because it's built into the workflow, it supports consistency and reduces the chance of missing critical details. Plus, it helps teams scale their response efforts by automating routine tasks and guiding less experienced analysts through some of your more complex scenarios. Overall, it's a powerful way to boost efficiency and confidence in your security operations. To get the most out of Security Copilot, it helps to understand a few key terms. The first term is session. This refers to a single conversation with Copilot. It remembers the context of your question and responses throughout that individual session. Another term is prompt. A prompt is any question or instruction you type into Copilot. You enter it into what we call the prompt bar. Your capability. These are the specific functions Copilot uses to help solve parts of your request. You might also hear them called skills. There are plugins. A plugin is a set of capabilities provided by a particular tool or, in some cases, a data source. And then finally, we have the term orchestrator. This is the system behind the scenes that brings together the right capabilities to respond to your prompt. At the heart of the Microsoft Security Copilot is that prompt bar. This is where you tell Copilot what you're doing, what you're looking for, whether it's insights from security data or if you need help with specific tasks. Each time you enter something here, it's called a prompt, and Copilot uses the context of your current session to understand and respond appropriately. Copilot works by connecting to a wide range of tools and data sources using plugins. These plugins let it pull in information from Microsoft's own security products like Microsoft Sentinel, Defender XDR, and Intune, as well as from third-party tools and open-source intelligence feeds. Keep in mind, each plugin gives Copilot access to a set of capabilities which are like specialized functions designed to handle specific tasks. Depending on the data source, Copilot can do things like analyze a file to check for threats or any type of suspicious behavior. It can generate an incident report to help you document what happened and how it was handled. It can create guided responses that walk you through how to respond to an incident. It can list incidents and related alerts so you can see what's going on across your entire environment. It can summarize the security state of a device, giving you a quick snapshot of the current risk level of that resource. All of this happens behind the scenes with Copilot, using the right capabilities from the right plugins to help you get answers quickly and, of course, take action confidently. When you're writing a prompt for Copilot as a security analyst or researcher, it's helpful to include a few key things. So you always want to start with a goal. What specific security-related information are you looking for? Then add some context about why you need it and how you plan to use it. Make sure you be clear with your expectations, like the format or who the response is for, and mention any sources Copilot should use, like any known data or plugins. A few tips to keep in mind: be specific and concise. Try different versions of your prompt. Give enough context to guide Copilot. Use positive instructions and speak directly to Copilot by saying you. To begin using Microsoft Security Copilot, organizations need to go through a few onboarding steps to get everything set up properly. The first step is to provision Copilot capacity, which ensures the service has the resources it needs. Next, you'll need to set up the default environment, which acts as a foundation for how Copilot operates within your organization. After that, it's important to assign role permissions so users have the right level of access based on their responsibilities. These steps help ensure a secure and efficient deployment. Each of these tasks plays a critical role in preparing your team to use Security Copilot effectively. More detailed guidance on how to compile and complete each step is provided in the following slides. Taking the time to complete these properly will help you get the most out of this service. To provision capacity, you must have an Azure subscription. You must be an Azure owner or contributor at a resource group level at a minimum. One thing you want to keep in mind, though, is by default, global admins are not an Azure owner or an Azure contributor. This can be configured in the Azure portal itself. There are two options for provisioning capacity: provisioning with Copilot for Security or provisioning capacity through the Azure portal. Copilot for Security provides a usage monitoring dashboard for capacity owners themselves. To set up the default environment, you need to have one of the following Microsoft Entra roles. You need to be either a global administrator or a security administrator. When you're setting up Microsoft Security Copilot, you'll be asked to configure a few important things. One of the first things you'll do is select the Security Compute Unit, or SCU capacity, which refers to the capacity units you've already provisioned. Next, you'll need to confirm the data storage location. This is where your organization's data will be stored based on your tenant's geographical region. Microsoft hosts Security Copilot in Azure data centers across several different regions, including the EU, UK, US, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Canada, and South American regions. You'll also be asked to make decisions about data sharing. As an admin, you can choose whether or not to allow Microsoft to collect data from Copilot to help improve the product through human review. This helps Microsoft evaluate how well the plugins are working and whether the responses meet your expectations. There's also an option to share data specifically for improving Microsoft Security AI models. Though opting in here doesn't mean your data will be used to train our foundational models. Finally, you'll decide whether Copilot can access data from your M365 services. Keep in mind, if this is turned off, several plugins like Microsoft Purview won't work, and only a global administrator can change these settings. Permissions can be assigned using Microsoft Entra ID roles or Copilot for security roles. As a best practice, provide the least privileged role applicable for each user. The Microsoft Entra ID roles are Global Administrator, Security Administrator, Security Operator, and Security Reader. The scope of Microsoft Entra roles extends beyond Copilot. For this reason, keep in mind, Copilot for Security introduces two roles that function like access groups but aren't Microsoft Entra ID roles. Instead, they only control access to the capabilities within Copilot for Security. The Microsoft Security Copilot roles are Copilot Owner and Copilot Contributor. The Security Administrator and Global Administrator roles in Microsoft Entra automatically inherit Copilot Owner access. By default, all users in the Microsoft Entra tenant are given Copilot Contributor access. Any user within a licensed tenant, which has purchased a Copilot via a consumption model, will be allowed to create a session prompt by default. If the admin doesn't wish to provide access to everyone in the licensed tenant to be able to run prompts, they can restrict access to run prompts by removing the all users role from the workspace contributor role assignments and adding an existing security group from the Copilot for Security portal. All experiences where Copilot for Security is used, whether it be embedded or standalone, will follow the updates made by the admin. The admin owner permissions are required for any privileged operations like associating the workspace to an SCU, or capacity, or owner settings, plugin settings, and more. Provisioning capacity operations continues to require the Azure owner or Azure contributor roles enabled through Azure IAM. Copilot doesn't go beyond the access you have. Additionally, individual Microsoft plugins may have their own role assignments for accessing the services and data that it represents. To give you an example, an analyst that has been assigned a security operator role or a Copilot workspace contributor role is able to access the Copilot portal and create sessions. But to utilize the Microsoft Sentinel plugin, they would need an appropriate role like Microsoft Sentinel Reader to access incidents in that workspace. To access the devices, privileges, policies available through Microsoft Intune plugins, that same analyst would need another service-specific role like the Intune Endpoint Security Manager role. Generally speaking, Microsoft plugins in Copilot use the on behalf or OBO model, meaning the Copilot knows that a customer has licenses to specific products and is automatically signed into those products. Copilot can access the specific products when the plugin is enabled and, where applicable, parameters are configured. Some Microsoft plugins that require setup may include configurable parameters that are used for authentication in lieu of the OBO model. This concludes Module 2. In Module 2, we talked about what is Microsoft Security Copilot. We talked about the terminology used within Microsoft Security Copilot. We talked about how Microsoft Security Copilot processes prompt requests. We talked about the elements of an effective prompt And finally, how do you enable Microsoft Security Copilot? Let's begin our third module, which is describing the core features of Microsoft Security Copilot. By the end of this module, you'll be able to describe the features available in the standalone Copilot experience. You'll be able to describe the features available in the session of the standalone experience, describe the plugins available in Copilot, describe custom prompt books, and describe the knowledge-based connections that we have. The standalone experience of Microsoft Security Copilot is designed to give security teams a focused, AI-powered workspace. You access it directly through a dedicated portal at securitycopilot.microsoft.com. In this environment, you can interact with Copilot using natural language to investigate threats, summarize incidents, and generate reports. It also supports custom prompt books, which are reusable workflows that help standardize and speed up common tasks. You can connect knowledge bases to give Copilot more context about your environment, making it respond more relevant and more accurate to your requests. The standalone experience also includes access to a wide range of plugins, allowing you to pull in data from Microsoft Defender, Sentinel, and other tools. You can export and share insights easily, which helps with things like collaboration across teams. Overall, it's a centralized, flexible space built to enhance your security operations with the power of generative AI. From the home menu in Microsoft Security Copilot, you've got quick access to several important pages that help you manage and navigate your experience. First, there's My Sessions, where you can revisit past interactions and pick up where you left off. Then there's the Prompt Book Library, which is a collection of reusable workflows, or your team can use it to streamline common tasks. You'll also find Owner Settings, where you can manage key configurations for your environment. If you need to manage who has access to what, the Role Assignments page is where you'll go. For keeping an eye on how your resources are being used, there's a Usage Monitoring section. You can also dive into broader settings to fine-tune how Copilot works for your organization. And if you're managing multiple tenants, the tenant switch option makes it easy to move between them without logging in and logging out. Each of these pages is explained in more detail in the following slides, so you'll know exactly what to expect and how to use them. In the standalone experience of Microsoft Security Copilot, the Usage Monitoring dashboard gives you a clear view of how your resources are being used. You can easily adjust your SCU allocation right from this page if your needs change. There's also a handy date filter, so you can narrow down the date to a specific time range and spot trends more easily. If you hover over any item in the bar chart, you'll get more detailed insights about that specific data point. It's simple, interactive, and a way to keep track of usage and make informed decisions. Everything is designed to be intuitive, so you can focus more on security and less on managing resources. The Tenant Switcher is the standalone experience of Microsoft Security Copilot, and it is a really handy feature, especially if you're managing multiple environments. It lets you quickly move between different tenants without having to log out and log back in each time. You'll find it right in the interface, usually in the top corner, and switching is as simple as selecting the tenant you want to work in. This is great for consultants, MSSPs, or anyone who supports multiple organizations. It helps keep your workflow smooth and efficient, so you can focus on security tasks without interruption. Plus, it ensures you're always working in the right context, which is key when you're dealing with sensitive data. In Microsoft Security Copilot, you'll find a helpful feature called Prompt Books. These are pre-built collections of prompts designed to guide you through the specific security tasks that you need. Think of them as like ready-made workflows that help you investigate threats, summarize incidents, or analyze data more effectively and efficiently. For each prompt book is built around a particular use case and usually requires some input from you, like a file, alert ID, or other relevant data. When you land on the homepage of the standalone experience, you'll see a set of prompt book cards displayed right up front. Each card gives you a quick snapshot, the name of the prompt book, a short description of what it does, who created or owns it, and how many prompts are included. It's a clean, visual way to browse and pick the tools that best fit within your working environment. This setup makes it easy to get started even if you're new to Copilot, because you don't have to build everything from scratch. You just choose a prompt book, provide the needed input, and let Copilot guide you through the process. So, what you're looking at here is a vulnerability impact assessment prompt book in Microsoft Security Copilot. It's basically a ready-to-use set of prompts designed to help you dig into specific vulnerabilities using the CVE ID. There are 4 prompts in this set, and each one walks you through a different part of the analysis. One gives you a quick summary of the vulnerability, including whether it's a remote code execution risk and what tech it's affecting. Another looks at any related threat intel or known threat actors and even includes links to the sources. There's also a prompt that suggests both specific and general mitigations you can put in place. And finally, there's one that helps you write an executive summary. And this is going to be perfect for sharing with leadership or anyone who isn't super technical. You can use the prompt bar in Security Copilot to ask for insights from your security data. Just type your request in plain language and hit the run button. If you want to explore more tools, click the prompt icon to browse all available prompt books and system features. Need to manage any data sources? You can tap the sources icon to access and control your plugins and uploaded files. It's all designed to keep things simple and intuitive while giving you powerful options right at your fingertips. Copilot includes a few helpful features that are available no matter what session you're in or which prompt you're using. One of these is the process log, which lets you track the steps Copilot takes to generate some of these responses. You can also interact with each prompt and its response, like copying, sharing, or rerunning it. There's an option to give feedback on prompts too, which helps improve future results that you're looking for. And if you want to save something important, you can pin it to the pin board if you want for easier access later. It's all designed to keep your workflow smooth and organized. The process log is a helpful feature that shows you exactly which capabilities Copilot used to generate a response. It's a great way to check if the information came from a trusted source. Microsoft also runs every response through safety checks before you see it as part of its commitment to responsible AI. So not only do we get transparency, but you also get an extra layer of quality control. It's all about making sure the insights you're working with are both reliable and, importantly, safe. In the standalone experience of Microsoft Security Copilot, every prompt and its response comes with a consistent set of actions that you can take. These actions are designed to give you flexibility and control over how you work with the information Copilot provides. For example, if you want to save something important for later, you can pin a prompt and its response to the pin board by clicking the pin icon. If you need to tweak your question, you can edit the prompt and run it again. There's also a rerun option if you want to refresh the results without making any changes. If a prompt is no longer needed, you can just simply delete it, and if you want to keep your workspace nice and clean. You can also export a prompt and its response if you want to share it or if you want to save it outside of Copilot. Need to use the response somewhere else? Just copy it. It's just a little click. And finally, you can give feedback on any response to help improve the system over time. These tools make it easy to manage your workflow and get the most out of each session with the technology that you're using. In Microsoft Security Copilot, there are a bunch of Microsoft plugins available that help Copilot tap into your organization's existing Microsoft tools. These plugins give Copilot access to data and capabilities from products you're already using, like Defender, Intune, or Sentinel. Some of them use what's called the OBO, or on behalf of model, which means Copilot automatically signs into services you're licensed for, so it doesn't require any extra logins. Just keep in mind, a few plugins might need some setup before you can use them. To give you an example, the Azure AI Search plugin, which is currently in preview, lets you connect your company's internal knowledge bases to Copilot. Microsoft Entra helps manage identity and access across cloud environments, while Microsoft Intune handles devices and app management. Microsoft Defender XDI is all about unifying, threat detection and response, and there are actually two plugins for it. One for general use, and another that converts natural language into KQL queries, which could be very helpful. You're also going to get the ability to use Defender EASM, or ESAM, which maps your external attack surface and Defender threat intelligence, which supports threat hunting and analysis. Microsoft Purview helps with data governance and protection across your organization. And finally, Microsoft Sentinel, which is also in preview. This brings in advanced threat detection and response with two plugins, one for general use and one that translates natural language into Sentinel KQL. This example shows the settings page for Microsoft Defender External Attack Surface Management, or ESAM. On the left side, there's a single simple toggle switch to turn on the feature on and off, along with a gear icon that opens the settings. Once you're in the settings view, you can fill in key details like your resource name, the subscription ID, and resource group name. These fields help connect Defender ESAM to the right Azure resources in your environment. The tool itself is designed to help you monitor your attack surface, spot any vulnerable assets, and get insights into your external exposure. It's a straightforward setup, but an important one for keeping tabs on what's visible and potentially vulnerable outside your network. In addition to Microsoft's own tools, Copilot for Security also supports a growing list of third-party plugins. These plugins let Copilot tap into services your organization already uses outside of Microsoft's ecosystem, giving you a more complete view of your security landscape. To use them, you'll usually need to go through a quick setup process and authenticate with the specific service. Nothing too complicated, but it ensures secure access. Some of the supported third-party plugins currently available, and keep in mind some of these are still in preview, include tools like Circle Hash Lookup, which helps the file and hash investigations, and integrations with things like ServiceNow and Splunk, so you can pull in data from your existing IT and security operations platforms. There's also CrowdSec Threat Intelligence, which adds community-driven threat insights, and both Gray Noise Community and Gray Noise Enterprise, which help filter out internet background noise and focus on real threats. These plugins are great for expanding Copilot's reach and making it, an even more useful tool within your environments that rely on a mix of Microsoft and non-Microsoft tools. In Microsoft Security Copilot, you're not limited to just built-in or third-party plugins. You can also create and use custom plugins if you choose. There are two main types. One you build specifically for Copilot, and others that are developed using OpenAI's API. These custom plugins let you tailor Copilot's capabilities to your organization's unique needs or workflows. To get started, you'll upload a manifest file. It's going to be either a JSON or YAML file, which tells Copilot that the plugin tells it what it does and how to use it. Managing how you can use or create these plugins is handled through your owner settings. This is where you decide who can add and manage any of their own custom plugins, and who has permissions to manage plugins for the entire organization. It's a great way to keep things secure and organized while still giving teams the flexibility to innovate. Whether you're integrating internal tools or building something entirely new, custom plugins open up a lot of possibilities. In Copilot for Security, prompt books are like guided workflows made up of multiple prompts that help you tackle specific security tasks. They run step by step with each prompt, building on the response from the one before it. You can even create your own prompt books using the Prompt Book Builder, which is great for automating investigations or simplifying repetitive tasks that you may have and you want to offload from your team. Once you've built one, you can also share it with others so they can benefit from your work too. To create a prompt book, you can start by selecting an existing session that already has the prompts that you like and that you want to use. Just check the boxes next to the prompts that you want to include as part of this, or use the top checkbox to essentially select everything. From there, you'll give your prompt book a name, add a tag and a description, and you can even add, remove, or edit prompts as needed. If any of your prompts need input, just define a clear parameter name using angle brackets. Once everything looks good, hit create and your custom prompt book is ready to go. Need Copilot to look for something specific? You can upload a file and have it use that content when answering your questions. Just mention uploaded files or the file name in your prompt, and Copilot will know what to reference. To upload a file, it's fairly simple. You click the sources icon in the prompt bar, which allows you to choose the files. You then choose the files and pick the files that you want. Keep in mind there is a maximum of a 3 meg file size, and there are limits to file extensions. Currently, they're docx, PDF, text, and MD files. Want Copilot to actually use the file in your session? Just flip the toggle switch next to it and it lights up. When you're prompting Copilot, if you wanted to consider all your uploaded files, just say uploaded files. If you want to focus on one specific file, include the file name in your prompt. And just a heads up, if you're assigned the owner role, you can decide who's allowed to upload these files. So this concludes our Module 3. So what have we learned? We've talked about how to describe the features available in the standalone Copilot experience. We've talked about how to describe the plugins available in Copilot. We've talked about how to describe custom prompt books. And we've talked about the knowledge-based connections that are available. Let's jump into Module 4 now, and we're going to describe the embedded experience of Microsoft Security Copilot. By the end of this module, you'll be able to describe Microsoft Copilot in Microsoft Defender XDR. You'll be able to talk about describing Microsoft Copilot in Microsoft Purview, and also describing Microsoft Copilot in Microsoft Entra. You can use Microsoft Security Copilot right from within several Microsoft security tools like Defender XDR, Microsoft Entra, and Microsoft Purview, with more integration in the future. When you're working inside one of these tools, Copilot taps directly into that product's features, which helps things run more smoothly and efficiently. It's a great way to kick off a security investigation without needing to switch to various contexts that are out there. If you need to go deeper or look across multiple tools, you can easily switch over to the standalone Copilot experience. That's where you'll get access to all the capabilities available for your role across all connected products. Just keep in mind though, to use Copilot within a specific product, the plugin for that solution needs to be turned on. You'll also need the right permissions, not just for Copilot, but also for the data in that particular product. Once everything's set up, you'll be able to move between embedded and standalone experiences seamlessly. It's a flexible setup that supports both quick insights and more in-depth investigations. Microsoft Security Copilot is integrated into Microsoft Defender XDR to help security teams swiftly and effectively investigate and respond to incidents. It offers features like summarization of incidents to provide quick overviews, guided responses for step-by-step instructions, and script analysis to detect potential threats. Additionally, it can convert natural language queries into KQL for streamlined investigations. It can generate detailed incident reports, analyze files for malicious activity, and provide comprehensive device summaries. These capabilities are designed to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of your overall security operation. When you navigate to an incidents page, Copilot automatically generates a summary to help you quickly understand the situation. Incidents that contain up to 100 alerts can be condensed into a single comprehensive summary. This summary includes various details based on the available data. For instance, it will provide you the time and the date when the attack began, as well as the entity or asset where the attack originated. Additionally, it offers a timeline that outlines how the attack unfolded, giving you a clear picture of the sequence of events. The summary also lists the assets involved in the attack, which helps identify the scope of the incident. IOC, or indicators of compromise, are included to highlight any signs of malicious activity. Furthermore, if known, the names of the threat actors involved are provided. This offers you insight into who might be behind the attack. This detailed summary is designed to give you a thorough understanding of the incident, making it easier to respond effectively. Copilot in Microsoft Defender XDR leverages AI and machine learning to understand the context of an incident and learn from past investigations. This enables it to generate appropriate response actions, which are presented as guided responses. These guided responses help incident response teams at all levels to confidently and quickly apply actions to resolve any incidents you may have. The recommended actions fall into several categories: triage, containment, investigation, and remediation. Triage involves classifying incidents as informational, true positive, or false positive. Containment includes actions to limit the impact of the incident. Investigation recommends further steps to gather more information. And remediation suggests specific actions to address the entities involved in the incident. Each of these guided response cards provides details about the recommended action, including the rationale behind it and information on similar incidents that we may have. For example, the View Similar Incidents action describes available where there are other incidents within the organization that resemble the current one. Incident response teams can also access user information for remediation actions, such as resetting passwords. This comprehensive approach ensures that teams can handle incidents effectively and efficiently. Most complex and sophisticated attacks, like ransomware, evade detection through numerous ways, including the use of scripts in PowerShell. Moreover, these scripts are often obfuscated, which adds to the complexity of detection and analysis. Security operations teams need to quickly analyze scripts and code to understand its capabilities and apply any appropriate mitigation factors that we need for attacks. The script analysis capabilities of Copilot Microsoft Defender XDR provides to your security teams provides added capacity to inspect scripts and code without using external tools. Copilot in Microsoft Defender XDR comes with a query assistant capability in advanced hunting. Threat hunters or security analysts who aren't yet familiar with it or have yet to learn KQL can make a request or ask questions in natural language. For instance, get all alerts involving specific users. Copilot then generates a KQL query that corresponds to the request using the advanced hunting data scheme. This feature reduces the time it takes to write a hunting query from scratch so that threats that your hunters and security analysts are looking for, they can fully focus on during their investigations. Utilizing Copilot's AI-powered data processing, security teams can immediately create incident reports with a click of a button in Microsoft Defender XDR. While an incident summary provides an overview of the incident and how it happened, an incident report consolidates incident information from various data sources available in Microsoft Sentinel and from Microsoft Defender XDR. The incident report also includes all analyst-driven steps and automated actions, the analysts involved in the response, and the comments from the analysts. Copilot creates an incident report containing the following information: the main incident management actions, timestamps, things including things like the incident creation and closure, first and last logs, whether the log was analyst driven or automatically captured in the incident, the analyst involved in the incident response, incident classification, including analyst comments on how the incident was evaluated and classified, as well as investigating actions applied by analysts and noted in the incident logs, remediation actions done, including things like manual actions or automated actions applied by the system, including Microsoft Sentinel playbooks run and Microsoft Defender XDR actions applied. Follow-up actions like recommendations, open issues, or next steps noted by the analyst in the incident logs. Sophisticated attacks often employ files that resemble legitimate or system files to avoid things like detection. Copilot and Microsoft Defender XDR assist security teams in swiftly identifying these malicious and suspicious files. When examining a file, Copilot provides an overview that includes an evaluation of the file's characteristics. Additionally, it offers a detailed section that encompasses information such as strings, API calls, and relevant certificates. This comprehensive analyst aids your security teams in understanding the file's behavior and potential threats. By utilizing these insights, teams can take appropriate measures to mitigate risk and bolster their overall security policy and posture. The device summary feature in Copilot for Defender is a powerful tool for security teams. It provides a comprehensive overview of a device's security posture, including information on vulnerable software and any unusual behaviors. Security analysts can leverage these summaries to expedite their investigations of incidents and alerts. There are multiple ways to access device summary. For instance, you can navigate to the device summary through the Incident Asset page, or by selecting the Asset tab for an incident, and then you can view the assets involved. From the left navigation panel, choose Devices, and then select a specific device name that you want. This will open an overview page on the right where you have the option to select Copilot. This streamlined process allows security teams to quickly gather crucial information about a device, aiding in faster and more effective incident response. There are some common options across features of Copilot for Microsoft Defender XDR that enhances the user experience. One of these is the ability to provide feedback on the accuracy of AI-generated responses. Just like in the standalone experience, the embedded experience allows users to select the feedback prompt at the bottom right of the content window and choose from the available options. Another useful feature is the ability to move to the standalone experience. As an analyst using Microsoft Defender XDR, you're likely to spend a significant amount of time in Defender XDR, making the embedded experience a great starting point for security investigations. However, if you find that a deeper investigation is necessary, you can easily transition to the standalone experience. This allows you to conduct a more detailed cross-product investigation utilizing all the Copilot capabilities enabled for your role. These options are designed to make your work more effective and efficient, ensuring you have the tools you need to handle security incidents with confidence. So now we've completed Learning Path 2. So what have we learned here? We've learned how to describe Microsoft Copilot in Microsoft Defender XDR. We've also talked about how to describe Microsoft Copilot in Microsoft Purview. And finally, how to describe Microsoft Copilot in Microsoft Entra. Now that we've concluded this video, you may be interested in continuing your learning journey. One of the ways that you can do that is to continue watching videos related to this course or search out other course favorites that you may have. To do this, go to Microsoft's Learn site at aka.ms/learn.